There's a quiet kind of heartbreak that no one talks about. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't end with a slammed door. It's the slow realization that you were shrinking in a place where you were supposed to feel safe. You keep telling yourself, it's not that bad. They're trying. Maybe I am asking for too much. But deep down, you feel it. You feel unseen, unchosen, unchosen. And the hardest part, you're not even sure if you're settling or just being patient. If you've been recently single and something inside you still feels confused, this is for you. Because sometimes the real heartbreak isn't losing someone. It's realizing you accepted less than your heart actually needed. Let's talk about why this happens. When we care about someone, our brain bonds to them. Attachment forms, habits form. We don't just fall in love with a person, we fall in love with the routine, the good morning texts, the shared jokes, the comfort of us. And once that bond forms, the brain tries to protect it. So when something feels off, we explain it away. They stressed. They didn't mean it. It will get better. This isn't weakness. It's biology. Your brain prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar peace, because familiar feels safe, even when it isn't. And that's how settling begins, not with a big decision, but with a small justifications. Sign 1. You felt lonely. Even when they were there, you were sitting next to them. But emotionally, miles apart. You stopped sharing the deeper thoughts. You stopped expecting real conversations. You felt like you were speaking, but not being heard. Loneliness inside a relationship is heavier than being single. Because you're not just alone. You're alone with someone. If you felt relief instead of fear when it ended, that's not failure. That's clarity. That's clarity. Sign 2. You lowered your standards to keep the peace. You stopped bringing up what bothered you. You told yourself questions. You told yourself it's not worth the argument. You accepted behavior you would never accept from anyone else, but because you were afraid of losing them. If you had to make yourself smaller to stay, you were settling. Sign 3. You over-explained. Basic respect. You had to teach them how to treat you. Over and over, you explained why communication matters, why honesty matters, why effort matters. Listen carefully. You can teach someone your preferences, and you start asking yourself questions you never have to teach someone basic care. If respect felt like a negotiation, that's not love, that's survival mode. Sign 4. You felt anxious more than secure. You checked your phone too much. You read into tone changes. You wondered where you stood. Love should feel calm most of the time. Not perfect, not fantasy. And that's exhausting. Sign 5. You were afraid to ask for more. This is the quietest sign. You knew something was missing. More effort, more affection, more consistency. But you didn't ask. Because you were scared they'd say. Because you were scared they'd say, this is just how I am. Or worse, they'd leave. When you're afraid to ask for what you need, you're already settling, because the right person won't punish you for having needs. They'll want to meet them. Now here's the part that matters. Settling doesn't mean you failed. It means you were hoping. It means you believed in potential. It means you gave someone the benefit of the doubt. That's hard. But here's the shift. The love is not about potential. It's about patterns. Not who they could be, but who they could be. You don't need fireworks. You need stability. You don't need intensity. You need stability. You don't need intensity. And the moment you understand that, you stop chasing chemistry. and you start choosing peace. If you're single right now, this is your healing phase, not your revenge phase, not your revenge phase, not your glow up to prove them wrong phase, your healing phase. Here's how you move forward in a healthy way. Step 1. Write down what you tolerated. Be honest. What did you excuse? What hurt you more than you admitted? Seeing it on paper brings clarity. Clarity removes confusion, and confusion is what keeps people stuck. Step 2. Define non-negotiables. Not fantasy standards, not perfection. Just basic requirements. Respect, consistency, communication, emotional safety. If you don't define them, loneliness will lower them. Step 3. Strengthen your own stability. Go to the gym, go to therapy if you can. Spend time with friends who remind you who you are. Build a life that feels solid without a relationship. When your life feels full, you stop accepting crumbs because you're not hungry anymore. Step 4. Learn to sit with discomfort. Being single can feel strange at first. Quiet nights, empty spaces. But discomfort is not danger, it's growth. If you can sit alone without rushing to fill the silence, you become powerful in a quiet way. Here's the truth. You were not asking for too much. You were asking the wrong person. And that doesn't mean they were evil. It just means they weren't aligned. The next time love finds you, it should feel steady. It should feel mutual. It should feel like you don't have to convince someone to stay. Until then, choose yourself. Not in anger, not in pride, but in peace. Because the moment you stop settling is the moment your real standards begin. And that's where everything changes. Welcome to the healing phase.